got?
Yeah.
It's, but she said, no, I'm fine. It's just a dry cough. We'll see with that. All right, so we should be streaming live on YouTube, and let me just add the info here, and then we'll get started. I swear the people that watch the YouTube live, they must get so sick and tired of me saying this exact same thing every single time. Every single time, it is the exact same thing at the beginning. All right, so we are good. Let me hit record here. One sec. Okay, one sec. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Awaken Happiness Now Global Series. Thank you so much for being here with us. And if you are new to me, to my channel, to my show, please do subscribe on YouTube so you can watch all of the live shows and all of the shows on demand from previous seasons and this season, of course, as well. It is my deepest wish, desire, and intention to bring forward for you these wonderful speakers who are sharing their wisdom, their teachings, their experiences, their activations, their healing, their readings, etc., so that we can all thrive in our lives in this reality. And so today, my dear friend Laura Bolton is back with us, and we're going to be talking about connecting 5D and 3D, heaven on earth. And so some of what we're going to talk about today is about earth overwhelm, how intense and persistent difficulties can result from the dimensional mismatch. We'll talk about that. We're going to talk about disconnected relationships and life avoidance as a representation of dimensional realm separation. We're going to talk about and understand our earth mission so that we can be more at ease here. Laura is going to facilitate a group healing activation for advanced souls who are ready for fulfilling connections in greater peace. We'll also be taking some live caller questions as well a little bit later. And so I'm excited because in this discussion, we're going to be exploring our higher dimensional selves, and we're going to work out how we fit into these earth frequencies. So there's a lot of new information, to be honest, that we're going to be talking about. So get ready, grab a pen and paper if you want to take some notes. But of course, you'll be able to watch this or listen to this again later afterwards, after we're done today. So please join me in welcoming Laura back to the show. And for those of you who don't know Laura, just really quickly, you may not know, so she is a gifted healer and powerful transformer. And she has been with us a few times now. She pairs exceptional and analytical skills with transcendental healing abilities to empower advanced souls and uplift the vibration of Earth. So that's in a nutshell who Laura is, but we'll talk a little bit more to Laura and about her journey, and especially what we're talking about today, connecting 5D and 3D heaven on Earth. So Laura, welcome back to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So glad you're back. And this is an interesting topic, right? We're talking about connecting 5D and 3D, but it's also about the Earth. So, I know you're really deeply connected with the Earth and with the energy surrounding the Earth as well. Mm-hmm. So do you want us to start off really quickly by, what does connecting 5D and 3D mean to you? And what, heaven on Earth, what does that mean? And how can we embody that, practically?
I would use the terms, to start off with, I would use the terms 3D and 5D like really loosely and conceptually, and the same with like heaven and earth, really, because when I'm talking about 5D or heaven or the outer realms, potentially they're like not necessarily describable in earth terms because we're talking about the outer. So I kind of want to say that at the beginning, I'm not someone that really gets hung up on kind of terms. So I'm talking, loosely, like ideas, concepts, feelings, and with the healing transmission I'm going to do, it's going to be experiencing rather than kind of like labeling. But I'm come on to this is something that I've been working on with people for a long time, and because I find it hard to put into words. It's not something that I necessarily talk about very often, so I'm gonna have a go. But I'm guided, like, so looking at the big picture of the problems that people come to me with. It's very easy to get into details. I quite like detail, but like the big picture, like with people are struggling on the ground with like disconnect and kind of broadly like earth systems, even like administrative, like mundane kind of stuff, work and money, community, like any of those kind of things, like energy density, and also like for some of us like just being in a body, and kind of getting bogged down with intense and persistent difficulties. And when I and like this disconnection between, let's call it 3D and 5D, can show up in many ways, like disconnect in our lives, disconnect with people, like relationships. And then like when I connect with the essence of people, I have this ability to connect with like higher vibrational, like higher dimensional version of people. Like there's this like profound like peace, like clarity, purpose, this kind of rising above all of this like earth stuff. And sometimes you just kind of think, wow, like this stuff is like this junk that we have to deal with. You just like kind of like, you know, like what is this stuff when we like are like subconscious or something, like, you know, kind of knows that there's something else. There's an easier an easier place to be. And I'm not like into victim consciousness at all. I believe that like we've decided to come here, but I think like the value of this perspective to just go, oh, okay, hang on, I'm not from here, or there's a mismatch frequency wise to like where I come from, other places I've been, other incarnations I've had, other places that I've been, and that like I've chosen to like kind of try and be here, and there's just, you know, stuff that isn't working very well, like on a really broad level. So like to recognize the value of like this perspective, like just the knowledge and understanding of this mismatch can kind of help to, yeah, put things in perspective, like just to sort of feel a bit understood, and to feel like to have like a deeper trust of being here, and just to kind of zoom out. And that's where I've been the last sort of few weeks. I've been in this really like zoomed out kind of, what's going on down here, what do we need to do, you know. So
Well, it's great to have that awareness that, you know, we're not from here, sure, great, but we chose to be here, right? And so
yeah.
then how do we navigate the challenges, the density, the difficulties?
So how can we I think there's there's work that we can all do like as a collective to help like anchor. And I think I sort of believe as individual, like as a collective, we're here to like anchor these energies down, but as individuals, like we have different like parts of these, like we have different specific like missions sort of between us.
Mhm.
I'm working with kind of templates and blueprints and coding and stuff to kind of help to bring like these, like help to sort of make these connections, help to like make these strands. So I think we can kind of be intentional about wanting this. It's going to vary for different individuals as to like whether it's more of a bringing down, I think, than a going up.
Mhm.
But people are on different levels with their journey, and some people are going to need to connect with it all, like might not need to really consciously kind of connect with it all. But I think if we just understanding that, yeah, we are here for, we're all going through this, and we are capable of, you know, like making these, helping to raise the vibration of the planet, even though it doesn't feel like it.
Yeah, there are many times when it's like, that is our intention and that's the work that we're doing. But then when we look out into the world, it's like, yeah, where is the vibration being raised? I don't see the difference. I don't see the change, etc. Right? Because it just seems to be a lot happening. And so this, the overwhelm of being on Earth sometimes can be challenging, right? It's intense. It can be persistent, like you say. And a lot of these difficulties is because we have this mismatch between the frequencies of 3D and the frequencies of 5D that we know about. Like internally, we know it, right? But we can't quite always access that because of the Earth's frequencies that we're in right now. Is that right?
Yeah. So I think, yeah, we need to, it's a case of stepping up over and over again, like keep doing the work, keep sharing like what we're discovering, and yeah, supporting each other. I think it's good as more and more of us are recognizing we're in this kind of place, more and more of us are connecting in these kind of communities. So
and the more work that we're doing, it's closing the gap between the 3D and the 5D.
Yeah, it depends what yeah, what work. And
yeah.
we have to do some of the groundwork to be reaching those higher frequencies as well. So sometimes it's, yeah, doing the earth work, dealing with the trauma, like healing, like that, yeah, the earth templates, and then connecting more with the higher vibrational templates.
And you're talking about a little bit earlier about like relationships, right? And of course, we are all here engaging in different relationships. That is what we do here. And so that having those relationships that are kind of disconnected, like we would like this relationship to be a certain way, but it's not, just because we're, different individuals, we have different points of view, etc., experiences, etc. And that is also because of that disconnection between the 3D and the 5D.
I would say like it's very often I've seen like it's a parallel. I think no, last time I was on, I talked about astrology, but the time before I was talking about like parallel storylines. So you can look at yeah, things that feel disconnected in your life down here, and you can realize that actually this is representative of disconnections on a higher level or disconnections on the soul group level. So as we start to look at connectedness, and sometimes that's male and female, and that's also can be part of what a lot of us are here for, improving like or connecting with like broad level, like healing the sort of male female like templating, healing that highest up stuff, healing our like connectedness, yeah, with these higher dimensions, should bring like greater connectedness with community, and yeah, greater connectedness in relationships, and that sort of thing.
And
that's
then
what
of
I've
course
seen.
I was gonna say, and of course, we all wonder sometimes. Well, sometimes we wonder, we don't, because we just like can't grasp it, what our mission here is on Earth, right? Like we all have a purpose. I'm not sure if it's we all have a mission, but we all have a purpose for being here. We all chose to be here, etc. So understanding our mission, Earth mission, can give us a little bit more ease, right? But how can we tap into that information, that awareness?
I've been using astrology quite a lot to help people understand their mission in terms of like if we're all here to anchor higher dimensional vibrations. So we're here to anchor sort of different we're here to upgrade like different templates. And yeah, I found the birth chart to be really useful in like what are the challenges you've come in here to support. And yeah, that's certainly how I'm looking at how I look at my mission. Or, you know, mission things come in, downloads, you know, connecting with our guides, that can sort of map onto astrology. So it's not like it has to be through astrology, but sometimes even recognizing what your problems are and zooming out again and looking at that as a template issue. So like, I'm here to heal this in my ancestry or whatever, rather than this is happening to me. It's, you know, like this certain issue, like looking at like, well, how can it, like in healing ourselves, we can upgrade templates for our ancestry, for our soul group, etc. So it's like making those connections as well sometimes, and just considering anything that you're going through as something that you're here to heal more broadly. Can be comforting. And
exactly. It's like,
you
okay,
know,
this is not just
yeah,
for
it's
me, it's
not
for the collective,
exactly,
and or it's for the ancestral line as well, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And nice when you are clearing ancestry, because you're clearing backwards and forwards through the ancestry.
So Lori had a question in the chat. She said, so you can look at our charts and sometimes determine why we came here?
Yeah.
Yeah, because sometimes we wonder, it's like, why did I come here? Why did I choose this to be here, this planet, this time, etc. Right?
Yeah.
Sometimes we have those thoughts, to be honest, right? Like,
Yeah, and also sometimes I've like experienced, or like from my understanding, sometimes we come down, we think it's going to be easier than it is.
yeah, that's
And
for
you know,
sure.
we have our guide team or our pre-birth planning team, and we have to like, something else that's really important as well is it, like on that kind of note, is then making sure that we're asking for help. You know, I came down here. It's loads harder than I thought. Something that I do quite often with clients, they come to me, they don't realize this is what they need, but they need to like connect with their star team. And that could be really a two-way thing. Sometimes we're supposed to be transmitting information back up. And I do this, like, practice I have for this, like I do it again, like in a really vague sense. It doesn't have to be direct, like dialogue with the star team or whatever. It can be, again, be really intentional. Like, you know, we're here on Earth, we're having to deal with this ridiculous Earth stuff. You know, we need this sort of, you know, sometimes it's like we're reporting back,
Yeah.
but really important to, yeah, to say that, like, there's all this stuff that's not okay, like not being in victim consciousness, but sort of righteous indignation of like, or
I
like,
like
you
that.
know, there's these things that needs to be improved.
I like that, righteous indignation. And the thing is, like that was a really key point that you made. Is like it's a two-way street. It's a two-way interaction between us and our team. It's not just
And
them,
that's, yeah, and that's one of
doing
the
for us and giving for us. It's
yeah,
also us,
yeah,
giving information to them or whatever awarenesses, etc.
yeah, and that there is like, you know, part of our purpose of being here, why we decided to come down.
There was another interesting question that Lori had written in the chat earlier, and she says, are the different dimensions overlapping? She said, I had a strange experience this week where I saw two things overlapping at once. It's hard to describe.
So I would honor anything that anything that you've experienced that feels like, if you feel like you've experienced a dimension overlap, then brilliant. I don't think, like I said at the beginning, I don't think there's really a set. There's a, you know, there's a seventh dimension, there's a 7.5 dimension, or some people say there's 100 or 300 and something dimensions. Some people say there's only 15. Like, I personally, like I say, don't feel the need to be specific, but I would, and I don't think we all need to have a totally shared like understanding of it, like whatever comes in for you feels useful for you. Like if you're someone that really likes a framework, then by all means like be open to that as a framework, or if that's what it feels like happened, then I've never experienced sort of overlap, but it makes sense.
Yeah.
I think be really open to like what's possible. Like I say again, trying to break out of like the limitations of sort of earth words and pictures and ideas.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, with this whole, you know, um, going from 3D to 5D, bringing heaven to earth, or bringing heaven up to, I mean, bring earth up to heaven kind of thing. It does not negate, or it doesn't, it's not about making our experience here less than and that experience better. It's just different,
Yeah.
right?
Like my aim with it is for like us to be experiencing more ease and more
Yes.
peace and more
Yeah.
clarity of purpose. And I think that's what we all want, really. That's what we
Yeah, yeah,
need.
yeah,
That's what we
absolutely.
deserve. A bit of ease, bit
Yes,
of
we need,
peace.
yeah, and when we have more ease, more clarity, more awareness, etc., then we can thrive here, because we are meant to be here, right? So we can thrive here instead of, struggling and being challenged all the time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's what it's really important to say that, I think, because it is not about running away to another dimension. It's not about that. We still
Yeah,
have
no,
to,
that's why I'm talking about bringing, down, because we're committed to being here.
yeah,
So yeah, it's not about escape.
yeah. It's
Not in
about
this life anyway.
it's about having the awarenesses, having ease, having the wisdom through all of our experiences, so that we
Yeah.
don't, that we don't have to go through those same experiences again, hopefully, right? But if
Mhm.
we do, we'll go through them with more quickly and with more ease, because we have the wisdom, right?
Yeah.
Tanya said, I had some similar dreams for a few nights showing me my insecurities, which was very interesting. Oh, that's great. If your dreams are showing you your insecurities, then you know what you need to work on,
Mm.
right? You know what needs to be healed, right? Because a lot of times people say, I don't know what to work on. I don't know what needs to be healed. Like, I don't know. It's like, well, we actually do know, but are you willing to accept it, right? And so part of the whole 3D dynamic is about polarities, but it's also about confusion, right? Not having that clarity about our purpose, our mission, our path moving forward, right? What needs to be healed. So we're just going to heal everything, which is not how it actually works, but okay. And so having more clarity and having more awarenesses is going to help you to, lay out a path for yourself, right? Okay. Did we lose Laura?
Oh no, yeah, I'm
Oh,
here.
there she is.
That sounds right. Yeah, it's nice if you receiving like clarity in your dreams. That's nice.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
lucky, because and being able to
different.
recall them.
Yeah, different. We received information in different ways.
Yeah, absolutely. So, so take that as as information or guidance from your team and your higher self, right? So having that connection with your higher self is going to give you more of those awarenesses, those synchronicities, those insights, right?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm just checking to see where I'm trying to make sure that we're covering everything that we had promised to talk about today, right? And this concept of connecting, the 3D to the 5D, heaven on earth, is so it's so everybody talks about it, right? And everybody wants to experience that, right? And the thing is, the experiencing of the 5D comes with time, comes with healing, right? As we continue to heal and receive the wisdom from our experiences, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And it also means having that greater connection with our higher self, greater, deeper stronger connection with our higher self.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
No, that's it. I think I'll be able, at this point be able to explain more, or people might understand more when I've done the transmission. So, but do people have questions? Should we take hands first, or
does anybody have
quite a lot of
questions?
hands up?
Yeah, but they want readings, or they want you to look at their birth chart.
I'm not doing readings or birth charts today. I'm doing a group thing, which
she's not
different for
prepared to
me
do
because
readings.
my skill is really honing in to individuals. So doing a group is going to be different for me, but it's going to be good.
Yeah. So if anybody has any questions specifically about connecting the 3D to 5D, heaven on earth, or what we've talked about, if you have questions about that, raise
Leave
your
hand
hand
up.
Leave your hand up. If you don't, then put your hand down, because
nice try.
All right. So Simone has had her hand raised for a while. Simone, did you have a question? Go ahead.
Yeah, it has to do with that, because for me it feels like I'm somewhere in between the energies. Done a lot of healing work, raising my vibration, but from time to time I feel out of sorts, and what kind of, not really lost, kind of went into the background is some of my gifts. I'm clairsentient, but I could use the other channels too, so I can't really use, since last year, the clairvoyance. And what I've sensed is kind of, sometimes it's really hard to connect upwards, not to ground. That seems to work, but it's like, I don't know, something doesn't work out. I have questions, and when I ask, I don't get an answer, like always.
These things are gonna come and go. We go in phases, and we deal with, we go through certain blockages and openings, and like often a period that's of like feeling stuck, it is going to end up in some kind of greater. We have to be patient. Unfortunately, we do have to ride stuff. There may be something in the group, in the healing transmission, that will support you. I'm going to sort of have a go at connecting with things that people need. So working like with people's guides. So we'll see.
So stay tuned, Simone, for the process, the activation. But at the same time, there are times when we don't feel like we're as connected. We don't feel like our gifts are working, right? It's like, I've lost my gifts completely. But that is just, for me, I've had that as well. And it's just a phase, an in-between phase, when we are shifting and expanding. It's just an in-between phase as you continue to do your work without finding fault or judgment or blame in it, because you haven't done anything wrong, right? So without finding fault or judgment or blame in it, and say, all right, well, right now my clairvoyance is not working as well as it could. So I'm going to focus, I'm just going to use my claircognizant or clairsentient, whatever it happens to be, and continue to be willing to receive the information that way. Okay. And then that clairvoyance will come back. It's going through like a, what's the word that's saying, a transformation, a transition is really what they're saying. That makes sense.
Okay.
It's always
about patience, is it?
Yeah,
well,
I'm not that patient at all.
It's always
like, what the fuck? It's almost here.
I know, me too. I'm not patient at all, so I get it.
It's always good to sort of work with your peers as well, or readers or healers, and just, rather than trying to work it all out yourself, always make sure we're, sharing. And someone else might be able to see a blockage. That's not like what I'm doing today. That's sort of tuning in, but yeah.
Well, okay, now then it's about that, I haven't been thinking about that I've done something wrong, because I feel there is a change personally, as how I show up and so on. So it's not that I'm really stuck. It's just like, why doesn't that change? But thank you.
Okay.
It's just different. Yeah. Thank you, Simone. All right, Tanya, you have a question for for Laura. I was looking at Simone's name.
Yeah, I have a very interesting question, because I've been kind of keep waking up in the last few weeks, like between 3 and 5. So last night I decided to Google it, and I Googled it to wake up between 3 and 5 in spirituality. And they said that there is something that comes in the middle life that is called like soul sadness, and it makes people like wake up and kind of connect to, I don't know, higher self, or to go deep inside. And I said
It's
to
a
myself,
great time to meditate. It's a great time to meditate if you can.
try to meditate. And I thought to myself, I felt this sadness for also the last few weeks, which is, I don't know if it's mine or it is kind of universal, but I've never been, or I can't remember where it was last time where I was so sad. And it is kind of, it is like grief, you know, and I cannot shake it off. I have no problems to like enjoy my life. I choose to enjoy my life, and that's my choice. And I just smile whatever happens. But this sadness, I kind of cannot shake it off. So if you could explain
It sounds
how,
like
yeah,
Chiron, and it sounds, I don't know, like in a way it sounds like a kind of a beautiful sadness, and to feel in, embrace it, like there's yeah, I wouldn't encourage shaking it off. I know it sort of feels like, well, actually, I don't want to be sad. I want to be happy. Go into it as much as possible, and you will come out. It's
okay,
a long Chiron transit. It might be late 50s. You get a Chiron return that often brings that kind of those kind of feelings. Without looking at your chart, I don't know, but
And of
okay,
course, in the collective, there's a lot of grief right now, right? So you are always connected to the collective and maybe tapping into that. And the time between 3 and 5 is a very special time, very powerful time. And it's a time for, if you can, connect more deeply, to go deeper within yourself, meditate or reflect, whatever you do. It's a wonderful time to do that.
thank you.
Your guides, etc. You know, but don't think of it as bad or wrong.
No, I don't, but I thought sometimes I fall asleep still afterwards, but sometimes I don't. And if I have to go to work, I'm a bit kind of more tired. But then you're right, I better meditate than try to sleep and try to push myself, back to sleep. And
exactly,
yeah.
just meditate for a few minutes, and maybe you'll just fall asleep during the meditation, and that'll be more restful.
Oh, it happens very often. That I meditation.
Awesome, good.
Thank you, Laura. Laura.
Thank you. All right. So again, like I said, we're not really taking personal questions. We're taking questions based on what we're talking about. So, and then we'll just take a few more. Then we want to do the activation. Okay. So, Gurjeet, you had a question you had your hand raised.
Yes. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. My question is, on a practical level, what can we do like every day so we can move faster from 3D to 5D? That's one part of the question. And the second one is, well, how will the group process that Laura is going to do with us, like what can we expect in terms of benefit from that?
What do you want to receive?
Moving faster to 5D.
Okay, so have that intention. But go ahead, Laura. Oh, we can't hear.
I'm not really looking at moving to 5D. I'm looking at anchoring 5D into Earth, and that's going to be completely different rates for everyone. That's going to mean something completely different to everyone. I think it's not something you can kind of chase. It's something that so yeah, and that's what I'm going to be doing in the
it's about embodying the 5D energy.
I think yeah. Anchoring is something that
we're going to anchor in the 5D energies.
Yeah.
I like embody, you like anchoring, it's the same thing. We're anchoring and embodying 5D energies.
I know. I'm not particular about words, and then I suddenly get really busy on a certain word. I can contradict myself.
So Gurjeet, just wait for the process, be willing to receive and anchor in the 5D energies, and then see in your being, in your body, how you feel. Like it's not about having an expectation. If you have an expectation, you're going to be disappointed, but have the intention of anchoring and embodying the 5D energies.
It's very coming from quite a kind of yang, kind of masculine sort of like let's go place, and like the healing transmission is going to be more like feminine in its like energy of receiving and opening and allowing, rather than kind of results. Yeah, like I say, everyone's gonna experience it differently.
And let us know afterwards, Gurjeet, how you feel, what you're experiencing, etc. Because we would like to know that. Okay.
Yes, thank you so much. I think I have an idea now, because
Okay,
first
good.
it was like, is it a technique? Is it something we have to do? But now I'm clear on my question.
Oh, right. Yeah, it's just a receiving.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's not, yeah, it's nothing you need to do. There you go. Yeah. Feminine.
Awesome. Okay, Arunima, and I just want to address something really quickly. Simone says anchoring 5D into 3D feels really good, kind of supporting Earth's ascension, but we are also part of Earth, so we are also supporting our ascension as well. So it's not just the Earth's ascension that we're supporting, we're also supporting our ascension and the collective ascension as well. Go ahead, Arunima.
Hi. By the way, I just want to know, basically, in very simple terms, what is 5D we are talking about, and how do we know we are connected to 5D? What are the, what do you call it?
Yes, I think I explained at the beginning, probably not very
again?
well. I don't have a specific 5D is this, and this is what you should or shouldn't experience. It's I treat it as a concept, and I think it's something that you intend and ask to understand or receive, and that it's going to be individual for all of us. So
But
yeah, sorry if that's a bit of a cop out.
no, but it's different. Like a lot of people talk about 5D, obviously, and each person, each teacher has a different interpretation of what that means, right? But
yeah,
generally, overall, it is about having more ease in your reality, in your experience. We're still going to be here on Earth. Please get that out of your head that we're not going to be here, but we're still going to be here. We're just going to have more moments of synchronicities, more moments of connection with our higher selves, more moments of ease. That's some of what I think, anyways.
yeah,
There's probably lots of other stuff, but in a nutshell.
yeah. I've used the term 5D because I know that it's sort of commonly used,
The
and I
buzzword.
thought it might, as a title, it kind of worked, but
It's a
when
it's a buzzword, but it's about your experience, right?
Yeah,
So
I connect higher dimensionally, and I know it's or even outer realms might be another way of putting it. I like it's not, it's outside of the bounds of Earth words and pictures. It's, for me, it's a feeling, and it's like I work with mostly with clairsentience and claircognizance, so it's a feeling and a knowing for me, whereas it could be pictures and words for someone that's clairvoyant and clair. So yeah, I'm not really an air person, like my chart, so I'm not great at sort of intellectualizing these sort of concepts and stuff, and I know that that's something that other people like, and I think that's fine, but yeah, that's not me, I'm afraid.
hopefully that helps and gives you a bit more clarity on what we mean, right? Arunima?
Yeah, I'm basically, the reason I asked is that if you were to describe somebody else what is 5D, how do we properly explain to them rather than just vague terms? Because if you're trying to make somebody understand what is 5D, that's why I asked that question. And I wanted to know if I'm connected. That comes to the personal, whether I'm connected, because I see repeated numbers and stuff like that. So is that part of it? And all of that.
That's a small part of it, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say if that's what, like I say, it's individual, and so you can take that as like, well, this is me connecting with higher dimensions, and
yeah,
I don't think there's really a right or wrong. And yeah, it's
there is
5D.
there's
It's not something that I want to describe to someone.
no, there's no
I've
clear-cut
probably, if you probably
definition.
realized. Yeah.
Yeah. But it is going to be a state where you experience more ease, more clarity, more awareness, more connection.
Okay, thank you both. Thank you.
And you're
Appreciate
not always going to feel it 24/7, right? So you could have moments of that from time to time. And so you're going in and out of 3D and 5D. That's what it's going to be mostly.
Recognize which is your Claire, whether it's hearing, knowing. You know.
I'm a feeler and a knower mostly as well,
Yeah.
right? So I feel
Pisces.
a lot. Yeah.
Perfect.
Right.
Thank you so much. I don't want to take too much time. Thank you.
And
both.
Google it and see what other information is out there that you can,
Okay,
tap into and resonate with.
sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah, ask your guides to show you if you're doing a Google search or whatever. Ask your guides to show you.
Exactly.
For someone that needs more clarity, just ask for the clarity. We have Venus square Neptune today, so clarity is not the order of the day, I'm afraid.
All right, wonderful. Well, thank you, Anima. It is a great question, and there's no clear-cut answer. So it is something that we also all have to feel within ourselves. Okay. And I like what Linda wrote in the chat, that even when you're in 5D, you still have to chop wood and haul water. So that's true. I don't know if you ever read that book. I don't know what it was called, by something Kornfeld. And it's about that. You still got to do the laundry, you still got to do the dishes, you still got to do all that stuff as you continue on your journey and path. It was a fabulous book. I loved it. I wonder if I brought it with me. I don't know, but it was so good. And I'll try and find the title later, the exact title, because I'm so bad with names. Okay, so yeah, after enlightenment, during enlightenment, you're still doing all that for sure. Okay, I think we've answered most of the questions. So you're ready for the activation?
Yep.
Okay, cool. All right, and I'll come back and check the other stuff in the chat after. Okay, great. Let's do it.
Okay, I recommend eyes closed and just be comfortable and receive. I'm working with everyone's guides. No one's going to receive anything that they're not ready for, etc., etc. So let's start by asking Archangel Viwamas to open up the Sushumna, Nadis, Ida, Pingala meridians so that we can receive more light. And let's have protection around us. Let's ask for rose pink in the first layer of our aura. And the blue dome of protection around us, around the technology we're using. And let's have us really anchored into earth energetically. Let's make sure that we ask that for our grounding cord to be connected from the root chakra down to the center of the earth. Make sure it's healed of any damage, cleared of any obstructions. We ask for the grounding cord to be expanded and protected. And the galactic cord from the heart center, connected from the heart center up to source. So ask for this cord to be expanded so we can receive more. So ask for it to be healed of any damage and protected. And I want to embody, there's some really supportive energies, planetary energies right now that I want us to embody. So firstly we have the moon conjunct Jupiter, and this is Jupiter's expanding our emotional body. Jupiter is inviting us to really, the moon being that feminine energy, we're being invited and supported in to really deeply receive. And this moon is met up with Jupiter in Taurus. the sign of Taurus, fixed earth. So we've got this really grounded Taurus energy, and it's this Moon Jupiter conjunction is making a Earth trine with Mercury in Capricorn. So this Earth trine with Mercury, so that we're is supporting us to receive messages, upgrading the mind. Jupiter's expanding, Mercury the messenger, Moon being nurturing. And then all of these Earth placements are supported by sextile with Saturn in Pisces, which is providing this really beautiful structural support in the spiritual realm of Pisces. So we have this triangle in the sky right now. Like I say, we're just calling this in, this supportive energy in to the process. It's energies that are available to us. And we're just asking for help with our challenge today, which is Venus square Neptune. Confusion and illusion around relationship and values. Neptune's asking us to trust in the unknown and the unseen. And now I'm connecting with a higher dimensional version of all of you, which you may experience differently. And don't feel the need for conscious understanding, but allow your higher self to be held. There's no right or wrong here, so don't place too many expectations. Then I'm going to ask for, it's going to be different for different people, but some of us, there are blueprinter souls here to support us with these energetic upgrades. So I'm calling in people's star teams. It's nice that we're in a group. We can have crossover, any like beneficial crossovers with star teams. And we're going to work with the Antakarana energy cord. There's different words for that mean the same thing, but this Antakarana is our energy cord coming from the higher self into the crown. We're asking for that specifically to be more deeply connected with the Sushumna energy channel. Upgrading codes and frequencies between these spaces, between these dimensions, building strands and threads. Upgrading our chakras in terms of receiving. Making fourth dimensional connections that are relevant for people. Any stair stepping. Just breathe and receive. Light frequencies that are able to come down through the channels that we're creating. Filling up the heart, anchoring into the root. Asking that this may continue. Any of these upgrades that are going to take time. I'm going to hold space for briefly for any messages to come through for anyone. From the supportive beings that we're working with. Just anchoring and embodying. Keep receiving anything that's starting to feel overloaded. Just go down the grounding cord. And witnessing and observing connections being made. Breathing and receiving. Connecting again to the heart, to the root. And the grounding cord. And coming into your body. Just wiggling fingers and toes. Clearing your throat. Take a drink of water if you've got some water. Your eyes when you're ready.
Awesome. Thank you. How's everybody doing? Are you all back? Definitely drink some water. You're going to need to ground and integrate.
Heart palpitations should be fine. Just take some deep breaths. It's really hard for me to to know. It's hard for me to like it's quite overwhelming for me to connect with a group, to do that on a group level, because normally I'm connecting with an individual, and also for me to describe. There's loads more I would have liked to have done, but because I can on the radio silence.
That's right. Good point.
I felt like I had to just kind of, and maybe that was enough for people anyway. A kind of beginning something anyway that people can go back to.
So Chris, if you're still having heart palpitations, just focus on the bottom of your feet and expand out a little bit and breathe. Gurjeet says release so much energy. Awesome. Someone said I went to sleep, or I want to sleep. Yeah, I want to sleep. It's late where you are, so yeah, understandable.
That's really good. I think I know it's been a deep healing when I go straight to sleep.
something is going on deep down. So definitely as you go to sleep now, it'll continue to process through.
Yeah, it's a really good way of integrating. Yeah.
Vivian says she got that there is a heart transmission taking place. So that's why, Chris, you might be experiencing those heart palpitations as well. So it's just opening up your heart, right?
What I do is, when I do anything like that, is that people are having a parallel experience. So I'm interested. Yeah, it's good to hear how people have experienced.
And then this is very relaxing. Just came in from shoveling snow. Oh, you poor dear. But good. I'm glad it was relaxing. Tanya released some sadness. I'm hoping I received it despite the blowing machine outside. Yep.
Oh God,
Blowing machine has nothing to do with it. It's all right.
Yeah, these things are sent to to test us.
Yeah, just continue to receive. Gail says, felt my heart's energy shift as we continued to integrate. Yeah, good. Awesome. Okay, awesome. Good. So, a lot of different experiences, right? And so when we're talking about 5D, it's also about receiving like I know at one point I even said to myself, I choose to receive this healing, right? So it's about receiving the healing, I can't talk yet, the transmission, the activation, right? Simone says, I feel held by love. Nice, good. And Cindy says, feeling a great sense of peace coming through. See, all different, everybody has different things, right? Rebecca says, I totally went out. I have no idea what was said.
Brilliant. I meant to
really
say that
powerful
at the beginning as well. Don't feel like the need to take in what I'm saying. It's really an experience rather than it's not mental,
Yeah. And just continue again. It's just about the receiving.
Hot and cold, that's good as well.
Both hot and cold. Yep. That's just energy shifting and moving, right? That's what that is. Good. Awesome. Good. It felt lighter for Linda too. Awesome. Good. So yay, that was great, Laura. Thank you. So I want to take a few minutes and talk about the packages, and then we can come back, and if anybody has any more follow-up questions or questions about what they experienced in the chat, we can take a few quick questions, okay? Where am I? Hold on, let me just share my screen. Oh, let me just share my screen. What's that? All right, so here we go. So Laura has two packages this time around, a 30-minute personal session with Laura and a 75-minute deep dive personal session with Laura. So Laura, what are these sessions all about?
The 30-minute session will more be sort of talking, like discussion, and like the longer session will be where I get to really I get to do my process, connecting very personally with and understanding how you connect like what's going on for you in the multi-dimensional verse that I connect with, and the specific upgrades and connections that I can make for you.
No, it's a little bit about this little short activation that we did, but on a
it's
longer,
like that, but
deeper...
but I can go way more powerfully if I'm not trying to describe it. So it will be, I go in normally for about 45 minutes, and then I feedback, or we can share feedback. People tell me what they've experienced, and I tell them what I've seen, what I've found, and what connections I've been able to make, and what I can understand from connecting with the outer dimensional versions of people, what guidance there is sort of from that.
And so can people have questions? Like, can you tell them, because like at the beginning of the call, people were asking about, can you tell us about our mission, why we came here, that kind of thing? Will any of that come up in this deep dive or in the 30-minute session?
Certainly we can talk about that. Yeah, I mean, we'll have a chat before I go in, and then that stuff might come through. I can use all of my other, I never kind of say, I'm never totally prescriptive about a session. You come and sit down, and yeah, if you want to talk about astrology, I always do that. Will be totally tailored to what you need and what you want. And again, like always, I upgrade and coordinate our guides, so you'll get exactly what you need. Yeah, definitely talk about, yeah, if people want to focus on purpose, there'll be a little thing when you book the session to sort of tell me what you want to focus on. So
Awesome. And can you also tell people like where they came from? Like, I don't know if it's like star system or things like that. Can that also come up in certain situations?
I can do. Sometimes I can work with the pendulum for that. I'm not. Yeah, that's not, that sort of soul reading stuff is not like a major part of it, but it can be if that's something someone specifically wants. Yeah, sometimes that's useful, sometimes that's nice to know who you're intending to connect with.
Yeah, absolutely. So these two packages are available with the payment plan, both of them. And if you're, of course, if you're an Inner Circle member, please do use your gift code as well. And I was going to hold on, type in the chat, but I can't sometimes close the chat easily enough. 1 second. All right, so now if anybody has any questions for Laura about what you experienced or about the 5D, 3D, etc.,
Yeah,
raise
or
your
anything
hand.
that I said in the transmission, if you had any questions about that.
Yeah, some of us can't remember
if you
or
took it
are
in,
not
yeah,
aware of
no,
what you
just
said.
I wondered if any terms I use. I mean, I might not be able to describe them, but
Because yeah, I'll be honest, like, no, I don't remember anything about what you said. You know,
I prefer people not to be, taking it in intellectually. So yeah,
it was
I
more of
won't
an
mark you down if
experiential.
I won't mark you down if a word came up and you started going into the mind, and it's really fine to
Yeah,
demonize the mind.
It is about experiencing, right? It's an
Ideally, yeah,
experiential process, right? And being willing to
ideally.
release and also at the same time receive the upgrades and the activation, right? So it's about receiving and at the same time letting go of, what that density that we may be holding on to.
Yeah, although I'm asking people if they have questions on it, I'm also sort of hoping that people let go of trying to work out what it was and just got whatever they got.
Yeah. Did we take the 5D energies, I guess, that we anchored into our physical cells, organs, etc.?
Did you? I think it's really different for different people, so it's really hard to say.
But we can absolutely, and that's part of the anchoring and embodying, right? So yeah, embodying those energies into our physical cells, organs, if that's an intention, right?
Exactly, and if that's even coming to your mind, you can say like, okay, I am bringing it into, do you know what I mean? Like, make it your own, make it, even like I say, that you've said that or thought of that or thought of cells or the organs. That probably means yes, and that also means like asking for that to continue, or saying to yourself like, I am anchoring this in, or that kind of thing.
Yeah, so we're anchoring it in and we're embodying it in our physical being, right? So in our body, cells, etc., what it is that you would like. Again, that's just a choice and an intention for sure. So good question for that, Linda. Thank you. Gail says, thanks for your activation. Thanks for your gift. Awesome. Good. And so continue, like what Laura just said, continue to receive, right? Continue to allow the energies to go even deeper and anchor in deeper into this reality and into your body and being. Is there a difference between receiving at the front of the heart and on the back of the heart?
I say, if that's the question you've come up with, then yes, if that's the language that's come through to you, then yes, absolutely. Wouldn't necessarily be
no better.
Yeah, it wouldn't be necessarily something that everyone has suddenly gone, oh, hang on, I need to receive in the back as well as the front, or that wouldn't mean anything to a lot of people, but if that's come through for you, then yes. And if that's something that you sit intentionally in your practice and go, oh, I need to make sure that I'm receiving the back as well. I think that's really cool, actually. I think that's really interesting that that's come
Well, you
up.
know, and
That might be something for other people to think about.
yeah, because
Sharing that.
normally when I'm doing healing work, you know, I don't make a differentiation between the front and back unless I'm guided by my guides and the team to say we're going to work on the back. You know, so that does happen. But for me, it's always when I'm guided. It's not like a choice that I'm ever making. So again, just be willing to receive and allow the energies to go where they need to go, because everything is being done through your higher self, right? So your higher self is choosing, deciding, orchestrating, you know, where the energies are going, how much energies are coming in, etc. Right?
Yeah, and largely people don't need that sort of detail, but like the fact that those words have come from you makes me think, well, that's something specific for you. That's something important for you, is this understanding of the back and the front of the heart.
Yeah.
And it's interesting for me. I'm gonna feel into that later. I like that.
Simone says, I heard the language but didn't get stuck with it, just surrendered. Awesome. That's why I don't remember what was said at all. Yeah, exactly. Right. It's like I was hearing, but I was not paying attention to it. I was just,
Good.
you know, hearing
Top marks.
and just feeling and allowing and receiving, right?
Because what I was saying wasn't really necessarily that related to what I was doing anyway, but I just thought I should say some words.
The only time I
Words
actually
quiet.
used my mind when I said I choose to receive the healing.
Yeah,
right?
cool.
Other than that, I'm like just receiving mode.
Mhm.
Your chakra projects out in the front and back. Yeah, absolutely. So like, you know, if you want to differentiate, right, then you can. But if you can just say, for me, it's always about wherever the energy needs to go, that's for its highest good. So whether that
Down
needs
or
to go
round
through
and
the front
round
or the
front,
back
yeah.
or both or the sides. Sometimes it happens through the sides as well. So it depends on each individual and in the moment. For sure. And, you know, I mean, sorry, Linda, this piece that you put here about your chakra projects out in the front and back. That's one interpretation, that it projects out in the front and back. Okay, that's one interpretation. I'm gonna leave it at that. Simone said, I just remembered I got the message again. Trust. Hello, trust the unknown. Yeah, trust the unknown. I got patience. Great. Right.
Yeah, I don't know if people were hearing me when I was waffling on astrology, but that's something I got that Neptune today is asking us to trust in the unknown and the unseen.
Okay, yeah.
Because we've got this square, this Venus square. Maybe you did hear it, but you didn't know you heard it.
Simone.
Doesn't matter if you know if you consciously heard it or not, but yeah, you heard it.
Arunima says, I did see eyes. Thanks a lot for bringing gifted healers to us. Oh, you did see eyes. That's interesting. Okay, cool. Thank you, Arunima. All right. So great questions and great comments, everybody. So good job. And of course, you can always go back and do it again when you listen to or watch the replay, right? So when you go back and watch the replay or listen to it again, for those of you who want to focus on the front or the back or both, you can have that intention, right? If you'd like, but just be with it.
I wanted to hold space for people to receive messages, but I didn't, again, want the radio silence, so I didn't do that for very long. So that would be something you could listen again and then pause or like, get into that zone and then maybe do your own thing or listen for messages and then complete
Absolutely.
it.
We cannot have
whatever.
dead air or silence when we're doing a live call. So. For sure. Awesome. Good. So if you'd like to work with Laura some more, through healing, asking questions about soul purpose, mission, etc. She always loves to talk about astrology at any time. So, that's always there. It's always part of what she does. So please do look at the packages and work with her. One is a 30-minute session for $97. And then the 75-minute deep dive for $127, right? So I would definitely choose the 75-minute because there's always so much more information and energy healing as possible, right? So definitely, if you can do that.
Made that just a small amount more because I really want to draw people into that one because that's when I get to really do my thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Non-verbal thing. about the astrology as well, to let people know I'll be back in like 2 months, just over 2 months, to do astrology. It's going to be equinox. We're just someone have just moved into Aries, the astrological new year. So
awesome. So that's in
yes.
March?
Yes, I believe
Yes.
so.
Yeah. So Laura,
I think you did say you were going to have me back. You were going to have me on twice.
I just don't remember. I don't have the
Oh, okay,
calendar
yeah.
off on the top of my head. But
Fair
yeah,
enough.
Laura will be back again in March to do the astrology. But in the meantime, if you really want the healing, the deep healing, like we just did today, the short one, you have the opportunity to work with her and get a deeper, longer, more intense. I don't like the word intense, but more of transformational healing.
Yeah, I should say as well, I have for the longer session, for booking for the longer session, I have asked people for their birth details, and I will look at your chart, and depending on your interest in astrology, whether I refer to it or not, I won't like get distracted by it. But that will certainly be part of. That's just how I work. So I just, yeah.
And that can help you to know about the soul purpose, mission, why you came here, that kind of thing, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
I would say.
And if you have, and on just a reminder for everybody, on Saturday I'm doing the money healing clearing calls. If you haven't signed up yet, please do. Other than that, I think we are good to go. Hopefully, I think it's today. I mean, next 2 days is the cold, and then we're gonna have some nice weather coming. So I'm looking forward to it. We got through the cold, the deep freeze here, and the snow. So just a few more days, and yes. So thank you so much, everybody, for all your questions, your comments, your feedback. It was wonderful. And I'm so glad that you all received from the process, and all the different ways that you all received is awesome. And of course, Laura, thank you so much for that wonderful activation and the wisdom about the 5D and the, our connection with Earth and our disconnection sometimes with relationships, etc. It's like, yeah, it's definitely a lot happening today. And I think a lot of people are feeling that overwhelm, or maybe feeling that disconnection for sure. And that is the gap between the 3D and the 5D, right? But the process today that we did at least got us a little bit closer and made us feel more into the 5D energies, and anchoring in more of those 5D energies for us and the planet and the collective as well, right? So thank you. All right, everyone. So thank you. Until next time, may you continue to be blessed with an abundance of joy, peace, love, happiness, prosperity, and radiant health. Sending you all so much love and blessings.